This video is just a quick PSA to the Aussie hip-hop scene, such that it still exists in whatever various little pockets or fan bases that remain. I just want you to have a few facts about this bloke called Jared Searby and his budding little channel or label or whatever he wants to call it, called Hard Knocks Entertainment. Jared seems really dedicated at the moment to promoting his music and to building Hard Knocks as a budding presence in local rap. He's releasing clips at a rate of several a week sometimes, so he's very invested. Furthermore, my understanding is that he's also either managing or at least just working closely with Mercs One, who's an established Melbourne rapper, in his own right. Here they are doing their thing together.
Fucking room, we made the news, but never gave any clues as to who is who. We never did, we never do, we never will, we never lose. I'm telling you, man, fuck it, I'm telling you. If it's news, I'm sending through a crew of dudes. The shit you and your family do, make sure you realise who is who and what the fuck it is we do.
Now, Hard Knocks was also, until recently, set to host a gig for Mercs One and veteran Sydney lad rapper Enter at a Melbourne venue. Now that gig got cancelled. Let's hear Jared talking about it.
Basically, the Victorian Police's fucking anti-gang task force, they Echo, Viper, them cunts, they went to the venue along with the AFP. They took the fucking feds with them for who knows why, but they went to the venue and basically told the venue that if they continued with the show, to let the show go forward, that they would hassle the fuck out of them with liquor licensing and all the rest.
So, to put that into context, it is true that Jared is a member of the Finks. In fact, he makes damn sure that everyone's very clear about that in most of his music videos lately. That seems to be, I think, what earned him the police attention and got his gig cancelled. Obviously, I don't think that people need to be told that sometimes some rappers might have an association with some sort of a gang. I'm not an idiot, mate. That's obviously not news to anybody. I also didn't give a fuck. So, yeah, this is nothing to do with the Finks or Finks-related stuff. Please enjoy all of your bikes. Gentlemen, I hope you have very nice bikes. I hope your bikes are nice and sharp. I don't know what to say. I'm just saying, this is not touching any of that. Not interested. I'm only interested in what Jazz was doing just before his latest Finks rapper arc. Because this isn't the first time I've talked about Jared Searby. In 2021, I wrote for Independent Australia about how Jared, then the leader of the Albury Proud Boys, was stalking old men, which is cool. For background, the Albury Proud Boys caught some attention for organising an event at the Corowa RSL. I think it was a sort of a fight night scenario because Jared is an MMA fighter and instructor. Maybe that's right. Anyway, the Albury 161 anti-fascist page posted about how, an RSL hosting a Proud Boys gig is a bit sus. And that led to Jared having a complete dummy spit. Jared's brilliant idea was to stalk individual Facebook commenters who'd posted under that Albury 161 post and pretend that they were Antifa. So like any local who'd seen this post and commented was suddenly being recast by Jared as a far-left extremist. Dumb, right? Yeah. Jared started lagging to the employer of one of these random commenters to try and get him fired. And then he even visited the poor bloke's workplace, which is weird and creepy. Jared went to the home of another random commenter and basically stalked the bloke, right?
Mikey, now I think I smell Antifa.
That guy turned out to be an elderly gentleman, getting back to the point of my earlier article about him. Anyway, so all this demonstrates that Jared is a really cool and, normal guy. But even all that is not why I'm bringing him up as a PSA. That's just background. Let's get to the point. I wrote about Jazz one more time in 2021 because he transitioned from Proud Boy to a neo-Nazi in just 3 short months, which is impressive. All it took was for one Australian neo-Nazi group, the National Socialist Network, who you will recall from having Sig Heil and stuff outside Parliament steps recently, to butter him up a bit. So, to the point. My quick message to the Australian hip-hop scene is that Hard Knocks is knocking at your door, and it is ostensibly a white supremacist neo-Nazi channel or space for Aryan artists. Oh, specifically the words were, "We are a pro-white entertainment channel dedicated to providing a platform for Aryan artists to upload their content." Righto, a neo-Nazi Oz hip-hop channel, and presumably, if he goes on to grow it a bit more, a label. An Oz hip-hop label for Nazis. Great stuff. Here's the problem though, a lot of my old Oz hip-hop pals have probably been taught that people like me call everyone a Nazi these days. I know, I've heard it a lot before. You call everyone a racist, doesn't even mean nothing anymore because you always say it to everyone for everything. That's not me at all, but I get it. You know, you love the internet, don't we all? You've been hearing some stuff about people like me on fucking Joe Rogan or whatever. You've had some big galaxy brain thoughts. You've had some big chats about it over your bong. Well done, sir. I get it. So, that's fine. The burden of proof for someone like me is a little higher now. Like, I can't just say that. You won't take me at my word. And that's probably healthy. That's a good thing. That's fine. I can work with that. If that's what you want, here's Jared Searby doing lots of neo-Nazi things. Here's Jared rapping in a shirt bearing the name George Lincoln Rockwell. George Lincoln Rockwell is the founder of the American Nazi Party and the guy who coined the phrase white power.
What you gon' do when you're parked like all fucking pathetic?
Here's Jared talking about a final victory for the white race. And Jared concludes by saying, "Live the 14 words." That's a 14-word neo-Nazi catch cry which goes, "We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children." Oh, here's Jared training with the Australian neo-Nazi group, the National Socialist Network. Here's Jared rapping over a video of him sparring with the leader of the Australian neo-Nazi group, the National Socialist Network, Tom Sewell. No worries.
Through the night, crossing borders, running blockades, slipping through a western side.
Here's Jared wishing happy birthday to Adolf Hitler. Sweet. Here's Jared rapping on a track using the words of Tom Sewell, leader of the National Socialist Network, for the chorus. Oh, right. Cool, okay.
Understand in the chaos of this society, it is easy to forget who we are and where we come from.
And here's Jared rapping about how everyone is getting fucked by a certain race of people, guess who, and how they're all scared of being called racist now. You know, the usual.
Our country's getting fucked by Masons. They've made us complacent to our replacement. Everybody's scared to be called a racist. Now the shame of a name is gonna leave us raceless.
Hopefully, I've now provided you with enough proof to meet your stringent standards for whether someone is a neo-Nazi or not. Yeah? But wait, there's two elephants in the room that we must address first of all. The first is, Jared is an outstandingly bad rapper. Actually, sometime last year, I took the piss out of that very same verse with my own little impersonation of Jazz's style. I dug it back up for you. Here it is. Apart from being for shits and giggles, this is completely beside the point, but I just wanted to clear the air on that. You know, like I've heard some pretty bad Aussie rappers over the years, but yes, Jared takes the cake as one of the very worst. So, you know, Hard Knocks certainly won't be blowing up based off his talent alone. There's no danger of that, mate. Second elephant in the room is that Hard Knocks is still not really even a label yet. It's mostly just a vehicle, I think, for Jazz to pose as a Finks rapper guy, and honestly, I wouldn't even have mentioned it. Like I've had months to do so, and you know I haven't yet, so you can probably believe me on that, right? You know, I'd rather just ignore it. But then I saw that he'd managed to arrange, you know, hosting this gig with Mercs and Enter, who, as I said, are both obviously established rappers, particularly Enter, who's a veteran, you know, very well known. I know the gig got cancelled, but I still realise at this stage that, you know, maybe if I'd done my job a little bit better, then it wouldn't have been booked in the first place. Maybe, right? Because maybe then everyone would be a little bit more aware of who this guy is that's buzzing around their scene. I mean, after all, the Aussie hip-hop scene, it can't be expected to be across the fucking details of every little gronk in my little shady corner of the world. You know, they're not psychics, right? I want to say that I'm not actually accusing Enter or Mercs of having anything to do with this shit either. I actually wouldn't have a clue, to be honest, but I wouldn't be surprised if they knew nothing of this stuff, because Jazzy's sort of reinventing himself a bit, you know? I must say I have seen Enter revolve around, you know, this recent wave of anti-queer shit headed up by people like Spanion. And I've made it super clear on this channel exactly where I stand on that stuff. But that is not the same as sucking off Adolf Hitler. I believe personally that one is a gateway drug to the other. Yes, sure. But they're still different beasts, and I think that is worth acknowledging. This PSA is not about them. I can't know what their deal is. This is specifically about Jazz and his Hard Knocks entertainment scenario, whatever form it takes, and about me telling you about it. That's it. The only reason Jazz is not hanging out, again, still right now, with the National Socialist Network in public, is because he has a non-association order with them. In due time, I assume he'll be back with them. Hip-hop is black music. Newsflash. Yeah, there's always been a space for non-black rappers with talent and respect to make their mark in what's fundamentally a black house, but there is not, and nor should there ever be, a space for white neo-Nazis to create local fucking Aryan rap labels. I'm an old head, so to me, this sounds like stating the bleeding fucking obvious. But sometimes I wonder if young people or fried people need me to tell them the basics every now and again. Don't let neo-Nazis into rap. Is it cool if we agree to maintain that sort of standard for a bit? Is that okay? Can we agree that the old ways are the best in that respect at least? Great.